There are moments in life when you feel like the world is spinning too fast, when every prayer feels like it's hitting the ceiling and your heart whispers, "God, where are you?" Yet what if I told you that in those very moments of silence, uncertainty, and pain, God is closer than ever? What if the signs that He's walking with you aren't in the miracles you're waiting for, but in the quiet details of your everyday life? Sometimes we expect God to move mountains to prove His presence, but He often shows Himself in the stillness, in the people He sends, in the peace that makes no sense, and in the strength you find when you thought you had none left. You see, God doesn't always announce His arrival with thunder or light. Sometimes He just walks beside you quietly, guiding your steps one by one. When you feel lost, yet somehow keep going, that's God. When everything falls apart, but your heart whispers, "I'll try again tomorrow," that's God too. The truth is, there are many signs in life that He's walking with you. You just have to open your eyes to see them. Have you ever noticed how certain things just fall into place even when you didn't plan them? Maybe you missed a bus, only to discover later it broke down. Maybe a job didn't work out, and it led you to something far better. Maybe a friend you hadn't talked to in years suddenly called you right when you needed encouragement. Those are not coincidences. They are divine fingerprints. God often works behind the scenes, aligning circumstances, people, and even delays to protect and prepare you. That no you got wasn't rejection, it was redirection. That closed door wasn't punishment, it was protection. That heartbreak wasn't the end, it was the start of something new that only God could see. Every time you look back and realize how everything turned out better than you imagined, that's a sign God was walking with you all along. And then there's the peace. That quiet, unexplainable peace that settles in your heart when life is chaotic, that's not from this world. That's the Holy Spirit reminding you that God has not left your side. You can't see the road ahead, but somehow you feel safe. You don't know what's coming next, but deep down you sense that it's going to be okay. That peace is proof of His presence. Because peace in the storm isn't natural, it's supernatural. The world says be afraid, but God says be still, for I am with you. Another sign that God is walking with you is when your strength doesn't make sense. You know those days when you're drained, exhausted, ready to give up, and yet you still find the courage to keep going? That's not your willpower, that's His power working in you. Isaiah 40-31 says, "Those who hope in the Lord will renew their strength." You're not standing on your own. God is carrying you through every valley you thought would break you. Sometimes He doesn't take away the storm, He strengthens you to walk through it. That's how you know He's near. Look also at the way your heart changes. Before, you might have been impatient, quick to complain, or easily discouraged. But now you find yourself forgiving faster, trusting deeper, and waiting longer. That transformation isn't by accident, it's God's presence shaping you. Growth in patience, compassion, and faith is one of the clearest signs that He's walking with you daily. God doesn't just change your situation, He changes you in the process. You start to see trials differently, not as punishment, but as preparation. Even in your waiting, He's working. Even in your pain, He's producing purpose. And what about those moments when you feel convicted in your heart, not condemned, but gently guided to do what's right? That's God's voice. When you're about to make a wrong choice and something inside whispers, "Don't," that's not coincidence, that's His Spirit leading you. When you feel peace after choosing the right path, that's confirmation He's walking with you. His guidance doesn't always come through loud words or visions. Sometimes it's a soft nudge, a quiet knowing that you're exactly where you're supposed to be. Another powerful sign is divine timing. Think about how things happen just in time. The help you needed, the opportunity that came when you were about to quit, the message you stumbled upon that spoke directly to your heart, all those moments are God's reminders that He's not distant, He's detailed. His timing is never late, even if it doesn't match your calendar. When you start seeing His hand in the timing of your life, you realize He's been walking with you through every step, arranging every moment to lead you closer to His purpose. God also reveals His presence through people. Sometimes a stranger's kindness or a friend's prayer feels like a lifeline. Sometimes someone simply showing up for you is God showing His love through them. He places people in your path not by chance, but by design. Every word of encouragement, every shoulder to lean on, every person who reminds you not to give up, they are vessels of His presence. When you realize that, you'll start seeing God's love reflected through others more than ever before. Then there's gratitude. When you start to notice blessings in small things, the warmth of sunlight, a child's laughter, a good night's sleep, it's because your heart is waking up to God's presence. Gratitude opens your eyes to see Him everywhere. It shifts your focus from what's missing to what's already been given. And that's a sign you're walking with Him, because those who walk with God see His goodness even in the ordinary. When you live with awareness that every breath, every sunrise, every answered prayer is evidence of His hand, you'll stop doubting and start trusting. God's presence doesn't always feel dramatic. Sometimes it's gentle, like a whisper in the dark reminding you that you're not alone. It's in the moments when you cry and still feel comforted. It's in the times you fall apart but somehow find the will to rise again. It's in the nights you can't sleep but wake up with renewed strength. Every act of resilience is a sign that God's hand is holding you steady. Even your pain carries His fingerprints, because through it He's building endurance and faith. The enemy wants you to believe you're forgotten, but God says, I will never leave you nor forsake you. Every challenge you've survived is proof that He's walking with you. Every tear He's counted, every prayer He's heard, every step He's guided, it all leads to one truth: you've never walked alone. So when you find yourself in moments of confusion, remember how far you've already come. Remember the nights you thought you wouldn't make it, and yet you did. Remember how God turned your pain into wisdom, your weakness into strength, your fear into faith. Those are not random experiences. They are signs that the God who began a good work in you is still walking with you, still guiding, still loving, still faithful. He doesn't just walk beside you in your victories, He walks with you through your valleys. Even when you can't see His hand, you can trust His heart. He is the same yesterday, today, and forever. The same God who parted the sea for Moses, who shut the lions' mouths for Daniel, who strengthened Paul in prison, is walking beside you today. So lift your head, even if it's heavy. Keep walking, even if the path feels uncertain. God's footprints are right next to yours, even if you can't see them. The truth is, He never left. You're not walking alone. You're walking with the one who holds the whole world and your heart in His hands.